A new ban list for Master Duel is here. We're going to be doing a deep dive into it, reviewing and making sense of everything that has happened. And we are also going to be applying this new ban list right away to twitch.tv/Decade $1,000 tournament qualifier this Sunday. We're also going to be doing big leaks, leaking big cards to the February pack on this Sunday. And two of the cards I'm leaking among the many are going to have their very own animation within the pack. So you know that they're going to be good. Now, before reviewing the ban list, we should be looking at the tier list. Here we have Branded Despia at tier 1 at a power level 20. What do the power levels mean? It's essentially the latest 100 tournament topping deck list among the entire community. So about 20% of the meta of tournament topping decks, not decks entering tournaments. And then we have Super Heavy Samurai at tier 2. I know a lot of you are thinking, what the heck? This is a tier 1 deck. Well, it was tier 1 for a little bit, then it dropped back down to tier 2. Enough time has definitely passed the deck to solidify a tier 1 spot, which it has not been able to do because everyone is over preparing for Super Heavy Samurai. Despite its strength, despite how good the deck is linear. And with it being linear, we have a linear way to counter the deck with Duel and Lockbird. So we'll also be looking at the top cards page as it has the official in-game analytics of usage and win rate. And Duel and Lockbird jumped up from, I believe, like a 20% usage up to 70%. So not just tournaments, even people on the ladder are over preparing for Super Heavy Samurai, where the deck loses to Maxi and Duel, 6 cards in almost every person's deck. And they can't play Called By or Cross Out to counter those cards. So that is a big problem for the deck. And Labrynth doing quite well at tier 2 here. The deck actually became better because Bestial cards are going down in usage. And Bestials were able to banish Labrynth from the grave. The Bestials don't do too well against Super Heavy Samurai. And Bestials were used in Dragon Link. And that deck got hit hard by the last ban list, thus being replaced by decks like Super Heavy Samurai and Manadium. Manadium initially was at tier 2 for a little bit, basically pretty much from the first week where all of the top players wanted to really try out their Manadium investment from the previous pack. As with the new pack, instead of having to pull from it, all they had to do was craft the new Manadium card and then join some tournaments. So the deck is very similar to Super Heavy Samurai. It also does, in many ways, lose to Duel and Max C. And I also think the deck is a lot more difficult to play comparatively to Super Heavy Samurai. Now, with that out of the way, let's see what the ban list is looking like. Boom. All right, let's see. Cards to be unlimited. Starting off with Conquistador. Conquistador for Eldritch. This card, I believe, was limited to 1 a while ago, and then semi-limited, and then now limited to 3. So back to unlimited status. This is a non-target destroy a card on the field, and also it allows you to set up an Eldlixir onto your field, which gives you access to Eldritch. This deck was a crazy good deck back in the day, and mostly because of the floodgates that were used alongside it. Let's see how the deck's been doing recently. Not too hot. We could already see down to November 30th just on one page. If we look at a recent deck list here from Master Rank, we have, oh yeah, they got some new support they can maybe use, like Wannabe. During the end phase, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, set one of those traps. Okay, that's pretty cool. Recall, what the heck is this? When your opponent activates a monster effect, your opponent draws 1, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Okay, it's like Dark Bribe, but for monsters. I didn't know that this existed. What the? Okay, interesting. And yeah, they also now are going to have Daruma, but what is healthy about this is look at the floodgates. No triple skill drain, no triple rivalry, no triple goes in match. So I believe with this, all of the toxic floodgates now being at 1, the deck could come back, and it's not going to be that big of a problem, not that big of a deal. 3,500 attack, indestructible by card effects. I'm sure many of you could out this easily, and that never really was the problem. It really was just about the floodgates. Now, let's look at some more changes. Okay, down to semi-limited as we see Chandelier going from 3 to 2. Okay, this is interesting. Why are they doing this? Let's open this up. And this is after Stovey got hit. So you could see here, it is at 3 in TCG and OCG, and so is the Chandelier. So these are Master Duel exclusive hits with Labrynth. And the deck now being at tier 2 status and doing quite well on the top cards page. We'll look at that in a bit. I don't want to spoil myself if there's any other changes. I guess this is just another slight love tap to the deck. This is really not a big deal at all. Now, 83% were using it at 3, even some were not using it at all. 9% none, 9% at 2. So almost 20% are not going to feel this effect at all. But the majority were playing this at 3. So I would like to say that I think Labrynth is becoming a lot more popular recently. A lot of people have been commenting on my older Labrynth videos asking, is the deck list still good? Is the deck still good? Is the information in that video still valid? Yes, it all definitely is. But now you're going to be wondering, can you play the deck now after the ban list? Yes, this is still fine. And even look at the second place tournament deck, unchanged. It's still going to be doing well as they already were playing it at 2. Okay. And Labrynth is going to be receiving some new support soon. So the deck is going to be getting a lot better through support like Arius the Labrynth Butler. And another one is going to be the rollback card. I think, there we go. Transaction rollback. This card's absolutely nuts. You banish this from your graveyard after, actually, this is kind of a preemptive nerf on transaction rollback because the main way to use this card is discarding it with the Chandelier or Stovey. And then you banish it from your grave to copy one of your own traps in your grave so you could use a Big Welcome Labrynth twice in the same turn. So that is quite interesting. It's almost like they're setting up for this card's release. All right, very nice. And what's not nice is I enjoyed this card at 3 alongside Stovey in my Plunder Patrol deck. What the hell? All right, let's look at some more changes. We have cards to be limited. Bestial Sereneer. Oh my gosh. It is at 3 in TCG and OCG. Let's see all the decks that are impacted by this. The big one being tier 1 branded. Branded, well, the majority were playing this at 3. And, we got 13% at 1, so they're going to be okay with this change. Is this a huge hit to branded? Not really. I do think it's actually a decent hit because there was a lot of synergy with the Bestial Sereneer, as when sent to the graveyard, it sends a branded spell and trap from your deck to the grave. So if we look at here, let's type in Branded Despia for the most popular cards using that order. It would be a good card to send Retribution from the deck to the graveyard or a Branded Fusion, which you'd add from the grave back to your hand with the Retribution. So yeah, that's quite interesting. It would be good for discarding with your Albaz here to trigger its effect. Good for getting it on the field and tributing it with the Lubellion. It's good with discarding with opening. Good if used with your Cartesia. I mean, it's overall just a very good card. Also sent to the graveyard with Gangrenol. Gangrenol right here. So, but that's not affected by the ban list. You're still going to be able to Gangrenol, send the limited to 1 copy from your deck to the grave. And yeah, so okay, another hit for Despia. I feel like the whole deck of Branded Despia is going to be limited to 1, even possibly Branded Fusion being banned, and it's somehow still going to be a top tier deck. And look at that, Dragon Link, F for Dragon Link. Dragon Link's no longer relevant, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see. We have full changes. This is a tiny bit, a wrist slap for Branded, a wrist slap for Labrynth, and a boost for Eldritch. Is this really enough for Eldritch to come back, though? I don't know if it really is. I think that Eldritch is just, without its floodgates, I don't think the deck could be that good. But I'm definitely interested to see what the community does with the Conquistador now at 3. That's nice. And now we can look at some further changes without spoiling ourselves. Let's see. Looking at the Branded Despia breakdown here, I guess, wow, we could pretty much see what's going to happen. They're probably going to shift the 2 Sereneers into 3 Lubellion, which is funny because Lubellion is limited to 1 in OCG, which I thought that maybe they would hit this card first, but it is an ultra rare and it would give an ultra rare refund for many people. Maybe that's another reason why they would not want to hit Lubellion over a card like Sereneer. I do think if they can, they're going to choose the super rare, rares, and commons over the ultra rares for the refund factor. Look at tournaments only. It's pretty much the same stats here. And yeah, does the deck change much? Just shift the Serenir over to Lubellion if they even care that much to play through Lubellion, or hey, now I have more tech options in my deck. Okay. And then Labrynth. We even had a recent tournament, second place of the Meta Weekly, didn't play any of the furniture cards. Do I think the deck is better with the furniture cards? I think so. And I prefer the deck that way, but I definitely I give respect to Hostrachan for playing the non-standard way. And I do joke that Haas was not playing the Chandelier and Stovey because they are not able to be royal raritied. Which is that even true? I'm just saying that normal, two normals. So we can't put two normal cards in our deck as our entire deck is royaled out. So yeah, I guess if you're feeling bad about the Chandelier and Stovey, you can consider playing something like this. That's nice. Okay. And I'm actually interested in what the community is saying about this ban list. I really don't have much to say because it's just 3 cards. Oh, we want to look at the top cards page. So this is very important. The win rate and usage, and we're going to be figuring out if they hit the ban list based off of this. The Tears the Overroot mostly being used, I would say, in Labrynth at a 54.7% win rate. Now, this card is rarely used. It's just a random outlier that has a high win rate because of some Labrynth players also playing it. Now, Vanquished Soul, as you can see there, the Singularity Warrior pack is in red. So this could have been a deck that Konami could have decided to hit. But as we saw in the tier list, it's currently residing at tier 3. I don't think the deck is that powerful right now. At its top strength, when it was doing very well, I feel like Borger being limited to 1 is a very good option if the deck ever becomes out of control. But it looks like the meta we have right now, and maybe the one we're going into in February, that Vanquished Soul is just going to continue to be a very good deck around the tier 3 level, and that'll be good. And what else do we have here? We have Branded. Borlode Furious Dragon being used mostly in Branded, Despia a lot. And we can see the Branded Sword at 54% win rate. And then there you go, Labrynth getting hit because you're up there. Labrynth about 54% win rate. The Chandelier right there, 54%. So what do we have? We have Labrynth, we have Vanquished Soul, we have Branded. What else is here? You may be noticing that I don't see Super Heavy Samurai. So not only do we not have the deck at tier 1, on our own tier list, it looks like this would be Konami's official tier list, right? Super Heavy Samurai is not tier 1 on even Konami's in-game analytics. Because again, everyone's over-preparing for the deck. As we see here, it says it's the highest rank of Master Duel. And a big reason why Super Heavy Samurai is not doing as well is, look at that, 27% jumped up to 70.5% usage. Absolute insanity. Now, am I saying that Super Heavy Samurai is okay? Well, look how popular the deck is at 19% usage. Is that the most used deck on the highest rank of Master Duel right now? It looks like it. Yeah, I can't really find any identifying factors of any other decks here besides Super Heavy Samurai being the big one up here. If I go down, what's the second most used deck? Can we really find one? It's like you can't really tie this to just Kashtira, so it's definitely not Kashtira. You could use this in Monadium, so I'll open that up for a second. Nadir Servant being used in Branded and in Labrynth. So wow, that is interesting with the Super Heavy Samurai up to a 19% usage. And with a higher usage rate, that is a recipe for the win rate also going down. Not only do you have all the good players playing it, but also you would say the bad players are also playing it, lowering down the win rate. And it puts also a big target on its back to, again, the Draw and Lockbird to keep it in check. Monadium not on the highest usage. As I was saying, the deck is harder to play, and it's also less accessible than Super Heavy Samurai. Pressure Planet being used, Vanquish Soul, Monadium, Scareclaw. Look at all the other decks in addition to Kashtira here. Now, I'm not saying that Super Heavy Samurai is an okay deck. I think inherently the deck is a degenerate, non-interactive deck. It has a very long turn 1, and I'll always stand by my stance of long turn 1s in Master Duel are not healthy for the game. And that's exactly what this is. It sets up pretty much a first turn kill board if you don't interrupt it with Max C and Droll. Now, the great thing is that they can't play called by. They can't play cross out designate. So maybe because of Super Heavy Samurai not being able to play called by and cross out, that's why the usage of those cards went down, just because of the deck's restriction and not because of how good or bad called by is, because called by is very good. We all know that. Look at that. Nibiru even going up a little bit, which in some scenarios that could hit Super Heavy Samurai hard. Okay. Speaking of being able to pretty much set up a first turn kill, win rate when summoned. The number one card being Dark Strike Fighter. Are you out of your mind, Konami? A first turn kill. This got top 8 of our tournament. That is not okay. I feel like maybe this or the Queen's Light that enables the first turn kill in Super Heavy Samurai could have been hit. Well, why is this in the game? This is not cool. 16% of Super Heavy Samurai players are using this. We got one tournament top with it recently. Oh my gosh, what the hell? And look at that. It looks like Fluandree's players are eating well. They got a little bit better. They have a little bit higher win rate, or maybe the worst Fluandree's players have dropped the deck and only the good ones are playing it. As when this is summoned, it's got that high win rate. Average battle damage. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this, but finisher rank. Dark Strike Fighter. So another thing to put, 86% win rate when summoned. Who's the 14% not winning when you summon them? They must have just been summoning it for fun after getting heavily disrupted, or I think 14% are just messing up the first turn kill, which, believe it or not, you could mess it up very easily. If you summon Baron to floor early alongside the Dark Strike Fighter, you then have to summon Dark Strike Fighter into the extra monster zone. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough space for the first turn kill. And then, yeah, it is a top 4 for finisher rank, finishing duels among every duel in Master Duel. That's crazy at the highest rank again. Now, let's see what the comments are about this ban list. I am going to assume that they're disappointed because this is a tiny one. What do we have here? Big Labrynth hint. I wonder how lab players will recover from that. Okay, they are joking. They're joking. This is a joke. Do not take this seriously. I don't think they could ever recover from a hit. Yeah, I know. They dead deck. No. Yeah, deck's fine if you're not understanding. This is the ban list of all time. Yes, 2 hits. Branded and Labrynth. They keep hitting unproblematic low rarity cards, I see. Yeah, they do not want to give you that refund. Conquistador from an Eldritch Avatar Mad Lad is finally free for the Golden Land. Let me check if they have a deck list on the site. Just curious. Let's see. Are they? Wait, they weren't playing Labrynth back in the day, but okay. So maybe they'll whip out the Labrynth now. That's good. I say Labrynth. I mean Eldritch. That is Eldritch. Got my mind on Labrynth. All right. Oh, blank. Now lab players will drop the furniture. I think that furniture is still going to be the way to play the deck. You're not really changing the rest of your deck for the furniture cards. No flu hit. Yup. All right. So thank you very much. That is the ban list review. I guess I could say I tried to make the most of this, and let me know if you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you on Sunday at twitch.tv/Dcade for the big leaks. 2 of the leaks among many are going to have animations, so you know they're good. All right. I'll see you then. Goodbye.